Okay. Hey, Alicia. So what I want to talk to you about today is interactive fiction, or text adventures. I'm just going to launch right into it. It's kind of the world's first computer game. I can't call it a video game because there were no graphics. It was back when computers didn't have graphics processors. From about 1981 till about 1985, interactive fiction were the only computer games in existence. Right at the very beginning of computers, when they were nothing but green text on a black screen, they weren't even on discs. They were on these little cartridges, and you plug them into your computer and you can play this game. But these were massively created worlds with incredibly tough puzzles. It was completely immersive before there were even any graphics. So you couldn't worry about not having good graphics because there weren't any. It was just good writing. I got into interactive fiction a few years ago when I was looking through the App Store and I found this app called Choice of the Dragon, in which you were a dragon and it was choice-based. It was like a multiple choice game where each of your choices had different impacts on different parts of the game, and there were like 3 or 4 different endings. And I played through the whole thing, tried out all the different endings, loved it. And so I looked it up, and it's like, turns out this has been a thing for like 30 years, and so I got into it then. What I love about the text adventures is that they are just so immersive. You are playing the character in a story. Like, you're reading, but you're interacting with it, you're playing it. That's like a lot of very popular interactive fiction. It's choose your own adventure games. But this is different because you're not just choosing your own adventure, you're choosing the actions that take place during the adventure. You are giving the command, and then they do it, and you might react in a way that somebody else might not intentionally react in a way. It's like one of the games that I've been writing. Well, it never occurred to me that one particular character might be kind of annoying. My brother, when he first played the game, decided to kill said character, which in the game it wasn't permitted, but that's not something that I ever thought I would do. It's just cool to see how one player might play through a game and be done in 10 minutes, and another might take time and explore the world very thoroughly and uncover all the secrets. The very first game was called Adventure, and it was you going into a cave trying to find treasure before your lantern's battery runs out. You may have heard of the brass lantern. That's the brass lantern in that very first game. And if you're lost in the dark too long, you are eaten by a grue. It's quite terrifying. So there are a lot of different ways to write interactive fiction. There are a bunch of different languages and different programs that you can use. A couple of famous ones are Inform. That was one of the very first ones ever created, and they've got a new one, Inform 7, the 7th iteration of Inform, which is actually written in plain English, which makes it really easy to learn and pick up. And you pretty much just read it and write it like a story. If you want to be a little more technical, there's TADS, which is very similar to the C languages, where you can actually see the structure in a code format for the text adventure, and that one's pretty good. They've got a massive library full of different kinds of items, very flexible. If you want something that's a little more button-based, there's either a quest or a drift, which allows you to kind of pick from menus of things in order to make things happen, and it's already pre-programmed. You just click it from a menu or a button, and the game takes care of it for you, and you can end up with a pretty cool game that way. So if you wanted to check out some interactive fiction for yourself, ifbb.tads.org is the website. I will leave a link to it in the description down below so you guys can play some games. There's some really fun ones like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Curses is one of my favorites. Also Bronze by Emily Short. Some suggestions from me. My cue to you is, have you ever heard of interactive fiction? And if so, what is your favorite IF game? And if not, does it sound like something you'd be interested in? Leave your answers in the comment section down below. Alicia, I will see you tomorrow.